dice on his dice tower. That's okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's totally fine. Yeah.
And we are ready to go.
Yeah, I guess, Matt, if you could just type in the results in the chat just for like...
Sure.
Now you have to pull your camera down every time and show us.
No, I don't expect you to do that.
Only if it gets to like the 7th nat 20, then we'll, maybe have you move the camera.
Yeah.
Or the 7th nat 1.
Something I was
could be that too.
I was gonna suggest. I think I'll probably stick digitally just for more convenience sake. But if anyone else wants to use like physical dice, because it is fun to roll, it just means I'll probably have to be asking you a bit more rather than like see it and I'm like I assume what happens. So if everyone's okay with that, then that's fine with me. But it's nice for me to track some of the stuff, so I'm gonna be like, oh, okay. Especially like maybe like group stealth or like group activities to see all of those. So I can do a quick average. That helps out. So anyhow, just wanted to lob that out there as an idea.
It's only okay if Matt rolls well. If he's not rolling well,
if he rolls like shit, he's never rolling his dice again. Just toss us out the window, Matt, and then we'll just move on.
It depends on the situation. Like, if he rolls horribly on something that's going to be extremely humorous, we need that roll to stay the way it is.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I think sometimes it's fun for like dramatic effect. Like if we guys have like a very like save, like put it in the like the digital roller, I guess, so we can like all see it happen at once, whatever. But I mean, I guess I'll ask that as it comes. So, but anyhow, okay. So let's do a quick recap here. So last session was probably the quickest recap. You guys bought stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys bought stuff, or not bought things, rather, probably more on that front of things. But you guys did kind of have like 3 potential outline or plans they're essentially taking you out east. So to give you a bit of context, right, like 10 towns, if you're looking at kind of like the full map of the north, essentially, you guys are kind of like in the bottom southwest of the map. And then everything east of you, northeast of you, is just this like glacial, think of it like just like pure barren glacial like plains, essentially. So like think of like our Antarctica, I guess, essentially. That's probably the most equivalent rather than like the Arctic, which like a lot of it's like broken up. I just think of like one solid mass sheet of ice. And you kind of went to the House of the Morning Lord, which is kind of like a place of worship for Lathander, and you met Copper, this gnome, who was kind of worried about one of his friends that's kind of like locked up in this cabin, and he's not sure if he's been around. He hasn't heard from anything from him, and he's getting kind of concerned, and he would like for you guys to convince him to come back, or at the very least, or just kind of make sure that he's alive. He kind of gave you guys discretion and offered you whatever little bit of gold that that he and the kind of like the worship has put together a bit. So that was one option. There also was some rumblings of the frost giants, and it shouldn't be surprised that there's frost giants out here, considering you fought like a skeleton type variant in one of the caves that witch slash whatever hag. I don't know if you guys actually figured out what it was. I'm pretty sure you figured out it was a hag, but if not, cat's out of the bag.
We knew it was a hag. We didn't know, like, who she was.
Hag's out of the pot.
What flavor hag she was?
Oh, you don't want to be tasting that hag. Gross. But so there was that, and then there was additional skirmish between these two clans of Goliaths as well out there. And really, so, and you guys have already kind of been out a little bit east. You went to that like tower spire thing that was kind of beneath this ground, the ground that was filled with undead and the like. And the people, you've kind of been hearing like a little bit of things of just like the Frostmaiden also out there. That's a bit farther up north. And it really is, it's kind of one of those things where a lot of people, when you hear stories or when you hear people talk about, they always talk about the, I'll type it here in the chat. Now that you've, I'm going to make sure it's spelled that right. Give me 1 second here. I pull up. Not 40 tabs is efficient. I need 41 tabs. Yes, okay, I did spell it right. Good. It is what they call this, the Reghead Glacier. Hopefully you guys can see that. And so this whole the whole thing for that is that that's where a lot of things like, you know, the superstition cards start to play, all these like, you know, tales that people, you know, maybe you hear bits and pieces of when people are like drinking and stuff like that. They mainly refer to kind of out there because it's just not a lot of people are out there. Mainly just because like here, I guess a little bit of geography, there's a couple of like rock formations, you're kind of by the water. So they're really, you know, a lot of civilizations kind of build themselves up near the water for like fishing and like, you know, routes for trading and stuff like that. But out there, it's just the solid chunk of ice out in the open. So, so anyhow, just wanted to give you guys some context. And you guys kind of decided you were interested in all of those things, but as of now, it just seemed to be more convenient to check out this cabin, which isn't too far out first. And you packed some supplies for my understanding that you guys are going to be out there for quite a bit.
It's all right. I was able to make an adjustment. It's fine.
Good. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I see we have a dice cam. Okay, that's fancy. On the spot
Only
here.
viewable to us, not to our viewers on Twitch.
I saw Matt smiling for a second, and I was just like, did he post something silly in the Facebook chat that I'm not seeing?
No, I saw it pop up, and I like looked down at the frames being broadcast. I'm like, oh. And fortunately, I was just able to stretch the frame, and everything went back to where it's supposed to go.
Nice, nice. Okay. So, did you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? I'm sure you'll have concerns eventually, but what do you guys have in? Are you guys ready to go? I think we kind of stopped at the point where you guys were just ready to taking off.
I just want to point out that the people who wrote the spells for D&D were trolling the players, because if you look at water breathing that Oz just posted, the components required for it are a reed or a piece of straw. So it's basically someone lying underwater with a piece of straw. That's the magical ability.
That's
okay, but does it work?
The answer is no. Okay. Well, nice. All right. I flew, for context here, I actually was in Kansas City for a bit this weekend for a bachelor party, and I was reading the next section here a bit in terms of what you guys going on. I'm excited for this next bit here, so I think you guys are going to get a little bit more. I don't know. I think it'll just be good. Maybe a good potential lore dump. So we'll see. Okay, so anything else you guys want to do here? I'm really hoping we're not going to do another shopping episode, but I do want to give you guys, if you thought of anything, because I said I'd offer if you guys had anything else.
I think the only thing we were waiting on was just like a map or something from the was it the speaker? No.
You guys had a
Wood
guide.
is from copper. Yeah, we have a guide. Okay, just kidding.
Yeah, you were open to expect someone to kind of guide you out there, I think.
But I'm sure Asilo would really appreciate a good dump.
Well, I would be very shocked considering you don't eat.
I do sometimes.
I think just for the tradition of it, but where does it go? I guess that's the main question. Does it go anywhere?
He produces coal.
You can just pour that down the drain like oil.
It's just an incinerator.
Yes. The common practice that everyone should do, pouring their used oil down the drain.
Down the drain, yes.
He's probably like Wall-E or whatever. He just compacts everything into a cube and then just spits it out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome.
Well, in an old issue of Popular Mechanics, it tells you to go out in your backyard, dig a hole, fill it with gravel, and then dump the oil in the hole in your backyard.
Yep.
Helpful.
But, that was back in the 50s, before the EPA and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, so you guys go, so I'm assuming you guys are going to go back to the speaker's house to get, Speaker DeVesta's house to get said guide.
Yes.
And so after a bit, you go back and you realize, you see, at the kind of the speaker's house, you see Copper, the gnome, kind of nervously like twitching and like kind of like wringing his hands a little bit. Partly you see him a little nervous. I mean, I won't make you roll insight here. You clearly notice that he seems to be nervous, and he's also just like, cold. No, is he on drugs? Yeah, he's got he's in withdrawal right now. You don't know exactly what substance it is, but he is trying to clean himself up. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. All right. So he kind of spots you, and he's just like, oh, okay, wonderful. So the speaker has asked me to join you all after all. And he's just like, so I guess I'll be coming with you. Do you? But I heard that you're also planning to go other places.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get like your own cart, then you can venture back this way with your friend.
Well, I don't really know how to drive a cart, and
Does your friend know how to drive a cart?
well, I mean, assuming he's well and alive, I suppose he could. So could one of you drive the cart now, or for me? I guess I could go get one.
I think we already got a cart.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a cart currently.
Yeah, but you guys he's gonna want to come back.
I know. So, worst case scenario, we don't find your friend. Are you gonna be able to drive back, or do we have like someone with you?
I'm sure I have a solution to that problem.
Oh, all right. Perfect.
Your Warhammer is not a solution to this problem, Asilo.
You're just straight up killing him. Oh my
God.
You look like your buddy's safe. Squat.
He didn't make it. Neither are you.
What a real tragedy. So he's just like, all right, perfect. And he's just like a little squirmish. And why don't you guys give me an insight check? If you guys want to do I want you to give me a group insight check here.
I mean, he's got to be telling the truth.
And his name is John C.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
Bangarang.
Oh, and sorry, Jimothy, I guess we should have said beforehand, if you do get a 20, you have to do the sound effects yourself.
That's absolutely right.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
So yeah, and I'll expect all the hand gestures and everything. Like, um, so okay. So what do we got here? We got a 13, 16, 19, 21, and a 9. Okay. So those of you that rolled, oh, sorry, Timothy. He's not being too secret, but those of you that rolled above a 10. So I guess Timothy's just, either he doesn't care or he's just not choosing to read into it, or one of the two. So you guys notice that he's like, not so much nervous about like the dangers of the journey. It seems like he's nervous about like just being at the destination. Like he might know a little bit more about where you guys are going than he may initially let on.
Maybe we can like pull him to the side and be like, hey, like, what are you really nervous about? Is there something you're not telling us? Because if we can try and prep beforehand, you know, to make sure that you can be less nervous now, we can do that in town. But once we're on the road, we can't buy more stuff or get things to protect you.
Okay, so you want to ask him that now, or do you want to do that on?
Yeah.
Okay. So
nope.
it's just you pulling him to the side, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull him to the side.
Okay. Danny, do you want to do something as well?
Well, I was gonna say I have an app for that to help figure that out, but no, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, all right. So
oh yeah, I remember about how I was gonna ask how long he thinks it will take to get to his destination.
Okay, so let's say you ask him that before Zorn kind of does the side to side here. Sorry, the aside here, and he give me 1 second here. So he's just like, I would say, and he's just like, potentially maybe 4 days. Potentially the weather's good. That sounds about right. Yeah, I would say 4 days travel.
4 days there and then 4 days back, or 2 days there and like 4 days round trip.
I would say about 4 days there. But to be fair, we did that journey on foot, so it may or may be a bit faster with the horses, but I don't know if the cart will slow you down. So maybe quicker, so yeah, he does that, and then I guess Zorn, you're gonna pull him aside for a second.
So
like,
do I notice Zorn trying to pull him to the side?
I guess Zorn, are you being sneaky about it, or are you just gonna be like, "Hey,
no,
Hopper, why don't you come chat with me?"
Yeah, I just want the speaker to not be like concerned or something. I don't know. Like, I imagine we're in a room and hey, let's just take this outside of the group chat, and you seem a little nervous.
Right.
Because I notice him being a little bit shady, I'll walk with Zorn over to like the side of the room with can't remember his name at the moment.
Copper.
Pretty okay. So all right, so okay, you'll join, and so yeah, you're gonna be like, yo, what's your deal, essentially.
Yeah, and
yeah,
as he's getting ready to answer the question, I'll cast Zone of Truth.
Wow. Okay, so let's take the time to read this here. What's going on here? Creature that enters the spell area for the first time, make a charisma saving throw. Okay, this. Let me make this. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, he actually just makes it at a 13.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So, do you know whether that you know whether that so you know that he succeeded on that he doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, I could tell that it, I'd be
Yeah, I
able
see
to tell
that.
that it didn't take hold, but I don't think he'll realize that I tried to cast the spell since it didn't affect him.
An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid. But if he is he only aware if he's affected or is aware
Yeah, I
that
think it just says, like, if he's affected, he's aware that the spell is there, but it doesn't say, like, if he passes, that he knows that I cast a spell.
Right. Okay. So he
I mean,
will.
it's got verbal and somatic components, so he might know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll say this. Let me roll like a kind of intelligence check, just to see if he kind of understands what exactly happened. Yeah, he rolled a 1, so he thinks you're doing something, but yeah, he's not really aware.
Maybe you're praying to your god or something. He doesn't know.
He's not really aware. So let's just say, for the sake of this, that he's kind of ignorant as to what just happened. Maybe you did something and he's just not understanding what you did. Like, maybe he's just like, to be fair, he hasn't really encountered a Warforged, so he's just like, maybe just Warforged things. I don't know. Okay. So, one more time, can you, what is the question you're asking him?
I'm going to say you seem a little nervous. Is there something that you're not telling us about the place we're going to?
Okay. So, give me a persuasion. Asilo, you can help. If you'd like to roll or give advantage to Zoran on that.
Sorry, I already rolled. My bad.
You're not really saying much, but you're also like
Yeah.
there. So like I say, you could
Yeah.
roll or give Zoran advantage, whichever you prefer.
I'll go ahead and roll.
Okay, that's fine. I think I would prefer that just because like everyone.
Nope.
I was 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So he kind of looks at you and he's just like, well, to be a little frank here, it's more of a guilt thing. I originally went with Macretus. I think that's how you actually pronounce that. And yeah, let me just show you guys can see that. Can you guys? Hopefully, you guys can see that. Macretus, I think that's how you actually spell it. Okay. So he's just like, I originally went with Macretus to the cabin, and he's working on something, and that will help end the Frostmaidens. He's working on a device, but I really just don't like the cold, and it was miserable there. It's a miserable old shack, cabin, whatever you want to hell to call it. It's awful. And I left. And I think he slowly was going mad when I left. And I just got... My conscience couldn't handle anymore. I got worried. I thought, maybe he'd figure out, or, maybe with my being gone, it would help him, find the inspiration that he needed. But ultimately, I worried that he died out there, and it's partly my fault because I didn't help him. And so he says that to you.
I'm going to ask if he can clarify what he means by going mad. Like, is it something that he's going to harm himself or potentially harm us? Is that something we need to be cautious about as we're getting closer?
I would say more of just possessive, like, let's say you're... He kind of just was starting to work on this and he would get frustrated with it, but he wouldn't stop. when like he wouldn't take a break from it. Like he would lose sleep over this, and the sleep deprivation made him start saying things. And it was more of like he wasn't always there. Sometimes he would stare into the void, or it seems like he was staring into the void. I don't know.
Was he experimenting with things that would violate the natural order?
No, by no means. No, Macretus, he's a good soul. He really is. He is a sage, but he he's he's doing this through the Lathander's for Lathander, through his help, and I truly believe he is a good man. I think he just got obsessed with it, and he got frustrated with the situation. And so, but as people get consumed by something, sure, I would say that he's probably not the same person. And maybe he did start seeking out things. I don't know. He's much more intelligent than I am. But yeah. So I don't know what to do. I feel horrible.
Well, you can pray to your God for forgiveness, I'm sure. Anyways, we should go head out towards your friend.
Right. Yes. Let us travel out of here. Okay. So. All right. Then I will have. Sorry. Sila, do you have any other questions you want to ask him, or because you're also there?
No, I just making sure that he wasn't getting in over his head in something that Asila would have a significant problem with.
Right. Yeah.
Like dealing with dead people.
Yeah. To be fair, there is a certain. Yeah. I mean, like as you've been going around with people doing magic and stuff, it seems like it's been on the more. But this seems to be not that case. Will it continue to be that way? Let's find out. Right back after these messages. No, I'm just kidding.
By our sponsors.
By our sponsors. Natterdays. No, I'm just kidding.
Apparently it's LaForgue this evening.
All right. We will certainly welcome your sponsorship. So if anyone wants to I'll sell out, whatever.
Well, in the past, it used to be like if you bought a bottle of Foreg, you got like a 1 by 1 square foot of Scotland. So
okay.
Did they run out of Scotland to sell?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
So supposedly somewhere I own like 4 square feet of Scotland or something for the bottles of scotch I've bought over the years.
Unconnected 4 feet.
Mm-hmm. Unconnected 4 feet in a peat bog.
All right. So, okay. So let's have everyone roll some survival checks as you guys kind of start out.
I guess how do we want to divide up? Who's going to be in the cart with Copper, and who's going to be in the cart that we got? And then Asilo, I don't even know if Asilo or Oz are going to be in it, if they're going to have their...
I'll be in the cart with Copper. I'll hook up my Phantom Steed, which is an owlbear, up to his cart.
Okay. He does not seem to be freaked out by this owlbear. He is in awe of it. He kind of just this like, oh, he's kind of like raising his hand, like almost like he's kind of like by the hind leg of it. I'm not sure if it reacts or anything like that, but he's almost like wanting to touch it. He's like hesitant. He's just like, he kind of looks up to you. He's like, oh, it seems so soft. May I?
Yeah, I think that would be fine. As I read the spell to see if it would be fine.
Yeah, it like kicks him the hind leg, just launches him.
He goes crashing through like the store window.
That side quest is done. We'll go to the next one.
It's funny. It kills him instantly, and the bag of money just falls out of him. Or like
He-
his soul disappears and like like a little loot icon is
I was
appearing.
going to say
next
he
to
explodes into a pile of loot like Ready Player One.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's intelligent, so.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Oh no.
And I'll call my moose back with the stats of an elk.
Yes. Okay. So, you do that. Okay, what do we got here? Roll,
Oh.
sorry. We got a
I guess I
15.
technically paid for a sled, not a cart.
Wow.
So if he got a cart, he can do whatever. I'm on a sled.
So he's not sure because like he doesn't drive it, and like he also doesn't want to pay for it because he's cheap.
Well, I mean, we're not paying for it.
So he's like, he just decides to ride with you guys. So if you guys we'll make a room for him. He's like, we'll figure it out.
Great, just get on. Let's go.
And we just tie some skis to his feet and like drag him behind the moose.
Yes, Timothy's about to kill him and then go without a guide. So
So okay, fair enough. So kind of with the guide though, I mean, even though you guys didn't roll too hot, you guys make steady progress. You kind of get through the kind of like first half day, where he seems like, okay, all right, this way, and he kind of like tells you, and you realize that this actually was a relatively good investment. He kind of understands the terrain well enough, and like, you know, he kind of uses you know, the trail. He kind of tells you to get off the trail for a little bit, in terms of like, he knows a little bit about where the spots where the snow becomes heavy, just because like it kind of sometimes slopes down a little bit. So he kind of like tells you like, oh, take over here, and yeah, just for a little bit. And then he's like, oh, right there, why don't you go above this thing here? And you guys have been doing pretty good. And then, so after a bit of that, you guys kind of successfully complete I would say the first day. You guys got approaching evening, and he's just like, oh, all right. I believe it should be. We should probably call it an evening here. Are you all ready to kind of stop? It's getting a bit dark, and it's probably a good safest place as any. So, do you guys want to keep going, or do you guys want to stop? That's kind of his recommendation.
I think we could stop. Oh man.
yeah, if he's recommending stopping.
He's the one who knows the land, right?
Right.
So I feel like yeah.
All right. Fair enough. And then, I believe by day 2, I mean, like, we're making fantastic progress. We might even make it here in about 2.5, 3 days, maybe. He's just like, why don't we? But by tomorrow, we should be able to get to Procha where we have to take off the road. So you guys kind of stop, find kind of like a nice, you know, there's around here there's rocks kind of along the way, and like large kind of boulders along, and that's kind of like you can position yourself to shield yourself from the ever-piercing wind. And you guys set up. Will you be casting any huts, or are you guys just going to bear the environments here? What's happening?
Oh, yeah, no, the hut is gonna be cast, so you know.
Oh shoot, my computer is not plugged in. What the heck? Power, don't.
I was going to say, Bofades was kind of banking on the hut being cast, so if that plan was changing, he would have liked to have known back in town.
I'd like to retcon, bring in
Oh,
clothes.
Too bad.
So he could have
Too
stayed
bad.
there.
It's like Bofades is like, I'm done adventuring. It's too
And-
fucking cold out there.
It changes the fact of whether or not he's going to sleep in the nude.
Oh God.
Hey, these satyr pants are always on.
Oh, are you telling me Buffetti's just hanging dong?
I don't really want to think about that. I guess we didn't ever really play out like what is showing on our characters, so I would prefer to just.
That's fine.
Probably not a whole lot, huh?
Oh. Hey, oh.
Are you insinuating some dicky doos? Was belly sticks out farther than his dicky do?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so, all right, I will, are you guys gonna be doing watches or anything, or because you guys have,
Oh, I'll definitely do a watch, but I can do the last, like,
and
I can
like
do
I
the
said,
first watch or whatever.
Yeah, transparency. You can see it from the inside, and correct me if I'm wrong here on the spell. You won't be able to. Will you be able to hear what's going on outside? Is that, or is it just a visual that you have? Sorry, I'm just making you read here, Greg. I appreciate it.
I know I'm reading and there's no freaking comprehension right now, so give me a moment.
No worries.
Doesn't actually say.
It doesn't say.
Says you can see through it, but it doesn't say specifically whether or not you can hear or not.
Yeah. Not. I guess to be. I'll say this. Like, the winds will be like picking up and like going around it. It's whether or not you're. I mean, you probably will be used to that. Because you've been camping out. So.
I guess some people online say it says that the dome stops creatures and objects. It does.
The video's messed up, but it doesn't stop sound and other effects. Just creatures and objects.
Okay.
Spells and magical effects.
Cool. Okay, so let's go with. Let's assume that's what is happening there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, cool. So you guys there, you guys have some rations. Make sure you
eat them.
Eat them. Unless you want to go, maybe you're on a diet, maybe you're doing a little fasting. I don't know, intermittent fasting. That was a little latest trend. Okay. So, all right. Is there anything you like to do before we kind of jump into like watches? If anyone's, seems like Zoran's doing a watch.
Yeah.
I was gonna do a watch.
Okay.
Asilo, do you want to go first?
I can take the
last.
first watch.
Okay. If no one else volunteers, then just wake me up after you're done.
I'll take it with you. Take the first watch.
Timothy never volunteers.
Yeah, I know.
At least not when we're in a hut. He just assumes everything's fine.
Then yeah, Asilo, just wake me up for a second watch, and I'll do the second watch.
And I can see and hear as normal, regardless of whether I'm on watch or not. But
yeah. Yep.
But I will take watch.
Okay. So, all right. We'll start with the first watch then. If there's no one, if anyone doesn't want to do anything, or if everyone has anything planned that they want to do this evening ahead of time, we'll start with first watch then.
Was that a perception check?
Yes, please. Thank you. Sorry.
Everything's fine. All secure.
Yep. Everything seems fine. You know, maybe you're getting a little bit too cozy in terms of like the fact that you're out of the elements, right? Like besides like the few instances of like, you know, some of the places been kind of sealed up, you never really get true like, you know, like peace or respite from like the elements out here. And like, unless, you know, Oz decides otherwise, that like this is truly the most comfortable you ever feel. That being said, though, you know when you like get really like comfortable and like you go back into the element, it like either you like feel like you're a bit like more tolerant of it, or it just like is a bit more biting. Like it'll just feel that like that shock will be a little bit more noticeable. But yeah, you guys kind of look out with your watch, and you don't really spot anything. It's just the howling winds kind of going around this rock and around you guys' hut. So
this is what happens when I volunteer to do a watch.
Yeah. the trick is to never volunteer. That is the takeaway.
Yeah, I just imagine Bofades was like distracting a silo or something.
Yeah, maybe they're chatting.
Like,
I don't know.
He's like tuning his lute or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, TMI.
Is that what they're calling it nowadays? you were tuning his lute.
Yeah.
Also, I guess, sorry, I just want to throw this out there, just because if you guys ever want to, we've been kind of just like jumping to doing things, and that's fine. That's the flavor of D&D. But if you guys ever want to like chat amongst yourselves, not always me with the, I mean, you guys have been doing that with like, you know, some of the altercations that you've had, but like, if you guys ever want to chat a bit more amongst yourselves or around the hut here, feel free to get along, or do that, if you feel like having a scene for whatever reason. I know we're not professionals, so I don't expect like, oh yes, let's act out a perfectly written scene, but I don't want you guys to feel like you're always like, all right, now let's go kill the next thing, travel, kill the next thing, travel.
Well, that's why we need
I think-
sponsors so that we can hire writers.
Yes.
You're right.
So that we can be like, oh, I have this bottle of gin for you, and then we could say whoever our gin sponsor
Okay,
is.
all right.
for
I
the
don't want it
time,
to be
you know.
complete,
Yeah.
just like shooing in of the sponsors.
Product
Yeah.
placement.
There are no actual sponsors. We just joke about, you know, the alcohol that we consume during the stream. Like Quest End Whiskey, you can get Paladin, Rogue, and Warlock will be available soon.
Oh my god.
Actually, Paladin and Rogue are sold out, so you're SOL
Never
unless you're buying Warlock and Dragon. And Dragon's not available yet.
All right, yeah. So anyhow, just wanted to lob that out there. So if you guys want to wake up the next individuals, once your watch comes here to an end. And
Whoever's taking the next watch, I will wake them up and
Me.
Okay. And
I'll
have
ask if
you...
they notice anything. Obviously, you probably
didn't
so.
see anything.
I ain't
Okay.
see shit. Give me a perception check, please. Oof.
Be sure awake this time.
Man, you guys are... Maybe today was just a little... You guys pushed yourselves a little bit, but you guys sure seem tired.
Or, you know, I'm just not that paying attention because of the hut, I guess. I don't know.
Also a possibility. Okay. So, I will... So yeah, you kind of... You look out and you notice, just from a far, far, far distance, it seems to be like a four-legged creature. Maybe it looks like maybe a fox, maybe a wolf. You're not sure from the distance. It seems like it's canine in nature.
Would I have time to cast to speak with animals? It's probably 10 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to cast it and see if the fox still is around.
I mean,
Or
it's not
any other
close.
animals.
It's probably like maybe like, I mean, you kind of spot at the distance. It's like maybe 300, 400 feet out, something like that. It's like, and like it's windy and you know it's picking up the drift, the snow drift there. So.
Do I notice any animals around me, like rabbits or squirrels or anything?
No,
like
you would
that?
gather that they probably like hide in their little.
Are sleeping.
Or are sleeping, yeah. So you seem like maybe this thing is like hunting or something.
Okay, then I'm not going to worry about casting this speak with animals then.
Okay. You cast it and you're like, hey doggy, come here. You go out there. No. Okay. Yeah, and if there's anything you want to do, you can do that. If not, we'll say that your watch successfully comes to an end. Besides that, whatever that creature might be, you don't spot anything else that could be alarming.
Does the sky look any different? Does it look cloudy tonight, or does it just look really just cold and
Yeah,
I
so
don't
I
know.
guess, just kind of like I mentioned before, like most evenings, sometimes you get it, sometimes, it's covered by a blizzard, but there's typically that like aurora borealis effect. Sometimes it's a bit more prominent. Right now it's a bit like faded. You can kind of see it's more of like you see a little bit of like the greenish, maybe deeper blue hue. It's more of a hue than really just like a stream. It seems like almost like a river of light moving across the sky. It seems more mute this evening. The color is less vibrant. So, yeah, that's what you see.
Okay. Then I won't be concerned. I'm not gonna wake anyone else up, and I'll just go to sleep.
Okay. So, you guys rest for the remainder of the time, and then you guys are kind of like sleeping, and then all of you hear like a yell, like a shriek, and you guys like eyes immediately dart open as you notice that like Copper has like completely like he's kind of like sleeping. He like sits up and like screams. He's like, ah! And he's like breathing really hard, and he's just like, oh, I and you guys are all like staring at him. He's like, oh, sorry, uh, sorry, horrible dream, horrible dream. Oh,
So it was Copper that screamed. He didn't
Yeah.
scream in response to what we heard.
Yeah, he was just screaming. Yeah.
Okay.
He's just like, oh, I've had a nightmare. And you notice that like this whatever bit of the light that like coming in the sun, like you guys are just on the precipice of like sunrise. It's like almost dawn here. It's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to wake up. Well, we can rest a little bit longer. But you guys are just like, this is like, if you've like a
Pretty
chicken
awake now. So, yeah.
Well, sorry, maybe I'll whip us up a cup of Joe to raise our spirits here and to completely distract from whatever the hell just happened. How about that?
Well, what did just happen?
No, just some night terrors or bad dreams or of the like.
I'm sure that's normal living here in the north. Wake up realizing that you're still here in the north.
That he let's see if he picks up on the joke slash like comment. Nope, it goes right over his head. He's just like, right, yes, that must be it. And he doesn't think too much of it. And so he kind of like pulls out like a small little kettle that he has, and like and he kind of gestures to Oz. He's just like, do you mind if I make a fire in here, or do I have to step outside?
The rules don't really go into that, I don't think.
It's
but I would
already a
assume
comfortable
Bo passes
temperature.
through.
Right. We're gonna say there's HVAC. You're not gonna get like smogged out and for the sake
That's
of
how
it.
you turn that's how you turn it opaque.
Yeah. You immediately those fires like consuming so much oxygen. You guys are like,
It's like a Cheech and Chong when they roll down the windows, just the smoke's billowing out.
Yeah. You realize he's just like, I've got this special tea here that you smoke it, and then you put it in the water. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you need any help lighting the fire?
No. I have some flint here, and he's like, and he's actually pretty quick with it. He's just like gets it on like the second try. And whatever he got a little bundle of sticks here that he and he kind of like, it seems like he knows what he's doing, and he quickly makes a little fire. He's like, it's so much easier when there's no wind here, and he kind of like steps out for a second, and brings some snow, and he kind of like mixes it with some of the water skin that he has, and he like starts to put water to boil here. And he makes a joke. He's like, "Do you take your coffee black or black?"
Well, black, I guess.
Neither. I take it black.
And so he makes you guys a quick as a couple cups of Joe. He doesn't have enough, so he kind of like hands it to Oz first, Jimothy, Bofades, and himself. And he's like, once I'm done here. So it's like, the hell, man.
What the F? Sexist.
Yeah, he's a sexist gnome. And he doesn't realize he's got like kind of decent manners, but he realized like he just starts drinking his cup himself rather than offering it to you and waiting for like the next batch. And you, Asilo, he just assumed you don't drink any, but
I will pass my cup to Zoran.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I'm just gonna pour half of it into my cup, and then Oz and I can share half a cup each.
We're gonna be half awake today.
Okay.
Yep.
So, you guys have that? Is there anything you guys want to do, or you guys want to hit the road? Kind of move this along for the day 2.
I need about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Trust me, if we fall into any water, we want to be able to breathe it. So I'm going to ritually cast every morning from this point on, since I have the spell. I will ritually cast water breathing.
While he's casting that, I'm going to ask if our guy wants to, I don't know, say what his dream was about, or like, is it just the guilt of leaving his friend behind? If it is, I don't need to hear details about his dream then.
Yeah, you gather it's a little bit more on that, just to kind of move things along. You realize, hey, you're kind of like, he's like, oh, it's about my my friend.
No,
like, no,
I'm not a therapist, so you can talk to your therapist about that then.
Okay, cool. 2 ritual spells, 20-ish minutes. Okay, perfect. So you cast that. Thank you for putting it. Yeah, just like, I guess it's just nice to click it every day, just so we know it's being done. So I like it. Okay. So day 2, you guys think you all can have I think you're all fully rested, so you guys don't have to worry about anything. Day 2 starts, and you guys kind of step out, and you notice that it's starting to snow. It's always a little bit of flurries, but this time it's like snow. And like it's a little bit harder, so he's just like, oh, we're gonna have to get a move on today. We'll have to roll well on our survival checks if we're gonna try to avoid this weather here. So, all right. So day 2. Why doesn't everyone give me another survival check? And we'll see how you guys proceed.
Oh no.
Okay, 14, 15, 10, 6.
Zoran needed a full
17.
cup.
Yep, apparently I did. I feel like I should have casted, guidance on myself, but that's okay.
Okay. Okay, that's still pretty good. He will roll. He rolled fairly middling. So yeah, you guys approach. You guys take the day. It's maybe about like a fourth, maybe a third. Sorry, maybe like a third of the day, and he's just like, you notice that there's like this like rather than this kind of like, there's a couple of like rocks that are a bit more like rounded or largest or like almost like not spherical, but like definitely more round shape. And then you notice that like he kind of points out, he's like, oh, there it is. And he points to this rock that's relatively large, almost like a boulder. And he points to like this kind of like jagged rock that's like almost like shaped like a almost like a slate sphere or like a arrow or something like that. Like it's like fairly thin. It's almost coming to a point, and it's kind of like leaning against this rock here. It's fairly like it's definitely large, but it's definitely like it seems like it's like chipped away, or you notice that it seems like somebody's been carving on it. He's like, there's the marker. He's like, from here, we'll have to take off the road, and we'll be traveling. We'll be traveling off the road here, so we'll probably move at a slower pace, but we're gonna have to pick it up. And you notice that the snow is getting a little bit more heavy here, and visibility is becoming a little bit more difficult to. You just kind of have a little bit less of it. He's just like, all right, let's get going, and you guys kind of take the cart. You guys take your horses and everything, and or rather steeds, off the path, and you start traveling. It seems like he's leading you, and Oz, you're a bit like pretty geographically oriented. Seems like you're traveling like northeast from the road here. So like the road was taking you fairly east, or the path that he was taking on, that seems like it was kind of like a shoddily road or whatever. But now it seems like you notice like it seems like it's you're gonna have to be a little bit careful in your foot placement. You're not sure if you're actually stepping on rocks or you're stepping on dirt or whatever. Like, are you mapping something? Is that the plan? Or...
Yeah, I think that would be the plan. Just so we don't have to have guides to come out this way in the future.
Sure. Okay, I like that. So, all right. So you're kind of like marking down. You have a rough idea of the pace that you've been going at. And so you make it on an approximate sketch, and then like maybe if you reference like a more like a larger map, you can kind of maybe fine tune the details or something like that. So okay, so anyhow, so you guys travel for a bit of the day, and yeah, the visibility is getting pretty rough here. So I'm gonna have all of you roll a Constitution saving throw. For you that have advantage based on cold resistance or anything like that, you can mark that just to see how you guys are withstanding the elements here. Let's go. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, so we got 10, 13, 17, 20.
Glad
21,
Oz
30.
had a advantage on that.
Super helpful.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, like I said, this DC isn't really hard. You have to roll relatively poorly. You guys remember got your warm weather clothing, so it's not too difficult to save here. And fortunately enough for you, Copper also saves. He doesn't like the cold, but he does save here. So you guys are continuing on, and you guys come to like you're approaching evening again. And he kind of shouts out, you know, it's the wind's really picking up, and you're almost like you kind of have to start like shouting at each other. He's just like, we're gonna have to stop for the evening or keep going, but I don't want to get snowed in. He's just like yelling all this out, and you're like, what? He's like, I don't want to get snowed in. So he's kind of posing it to you guys. Do you guys want to keep going? He said there's still more to go, but he also doesn't want to get snowed in here.
So by saying, is he suggesting not getting snowed in? Is he suggesting not stopping where we are, or what does he mean by not getting snowed in?
So he's like suggesting, is like we just keep going, and hopefully we like don't get stuck in it, and like maybe it clears up at some point, but he's not sure because like it doesn't seem like it's showing any signs of stopping. So, but it's also going to get dark. Like you won't be able to see as much. So he's just like, do you guys want to brave it a little bit longer? Hopefully it gets a little bit better and find like a stopping point. Do you guys want to like just stop here?
Are we just out in the open, or is there like any? Are we along any like rock faces or hillsides or anything like that?
So out here, the next part here, it is plain. Like you guys are looking out and it's white, 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 plain, plain, plain. Like you're really, truly getting out there. You've passed maybe a few rocks along the way or something like that, but it truly is just a sheet of ice.
I suppose I would say we just keep going until it's dark, completely dark, and then we do another hut.
Okay.
I say we keep going.
Yep.
All right.
Same.
Okay, so you guys kind of go a few more hours, and you guys are getting like maybe like, it gets dark relatively quickly. But I'll say this: that you guys get to the point where, so, we'll say it's about maybe like 8 o'clock ish, where like the visibility is just pretty much bad. Like now, even the whatever light that's coming in from the night sky is now just completely covered by the snow, and you're almost getting too much planet. It's picking up really heavily, and he's just like, I think we should stop. And he said that a couple of times, but you guys are just kind of ignoring him. But this time he's just like, please, let's stop here. And you guys kind of gather that this is probably a stopping point.
Okay.
Let's press on. We can persevere.
Yeah, screw this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
We're the Southerners. We'll bring the heat with us.
Boo. Okay, so you guys stop. I'm assuming you cast the hut again.
Oh yeah.
And you guys get inside, and you guys are just like, like your fingers. You're just like you're like rubbing it together, and like and he's just like, oh gosh, it's so biting out there. It's horrible. Yeah, he's just like, I don't. You can see why I don't like coming out here. The weather's just more bitter, but and he's just like, well, anyhow, we should probably get some rest. We're gonna have a long day tomorrow. And do you guys plan on taking the watches again, or do you guys want to do anything before the evening?
And I'll take first watch.
Okay.
I'll take a second watch if no one else volunteers. So second watch is fine.
Okay. Any
I'll
third
take
watchers?
third watch. I
Okay,
mean,
I'll take
if
third watch.
if the gnome here is gonna shout and shout people awake anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so, all right, so you guys watch number one. Why don't you, provided no one wants to do anything, why don't you roll me a perception check here? 20. Okay. So, Asilo, your watch goes relatively undisturbed up until the end of your watch, where you spot, and like I said, it is approaching blizzard territory now. It's really coming down, and you see like maybe a humanoid, maybe a man, dwarf. You're not sure. Some humanoid.
I mean, average size,
Yeah, I
large
would say
size,
average.
fun
Yeah, about
size.
average size, and visibility is really sparse. You can't tell. You're kind of having a hard time to gauging the distance, but it seems like you see them. They like disappear in the snow. You see them again. They disappear in the snow. Are you doing anything, or are you just kind of watching this? As
I'm
go
just
by?
watching.
And then you see them, and then they they disappear one last time, and then they disappear completely out of sight, kind of enveloped in the flurries or the snowfall.
I will pass that information on to the next watch and tell them to keep an eye out.
Okay.
That person would be me.
Okay. I'll say this with your roll, a 20 there, Asilo. You note that this, whatever you saw this person was like, it seems like they're, average size, but it seems like they were hunched over, like they're almost like spearheading their way through the snow here. And that's kind of how you guys have been moving. So it's not like they're just like upright or whatever. They're just like trying to brave the elements. You notice that their position's a little bit odd, whatever you did see.
And so I'll let Zoran know, I saw someone, braving the elements. They look like they're struggling through just as we were.
Keep an eye out. Make sure they're not like getting closer to us or hostile or something.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess for that, Asilo, it seems like it maintains distance. Like it's almost like went completely parallel. It seems like it's going the direction that you were going, but it seemed like they weren't like closing in or going farther out. It seems like they were just going along whatever you did see before they disappeared into the snow, as the snow intensified. So, anyhow, okay, so I'll have next watch Zorn here. Why don't you give me a perception? Wow,
22.
There we go, 22. Okay. So you kind of keep your eye. You're a bit more like maybe aware. Maybe like you're like, okay, I need to really focus this time. Like there could be something out there. So your senses are a little bit more alert. And sure enough, your due diligence pays off. You spot, and again, similar thing. The visibility is getting worse and worse as like the snow is not stopping, and you're kind of noticing that like around the hut, you're noticing that the snow is rising, and that's kind of cool. Like you get to watch the snow level rise. It's that like it's almost noticeable. If you're not, if you're staring at it directly the entire time, it's not noticeable. But if you look away, look out, you come back, you kind of notice it's a little bit higher. But you spot two humanoid, average creatures, whatever, walking again similar direction. This is like a couple hours later, almost like again towards the end of your watch, walking in the same direction that Asilo might have pointed up to. I'll say with a 22, you note that they're standing upright and just walking.
Okay, I will relay that to Oz. So I'll let him know that like during Asilo's watch there was, humanoid, about that same distance. Didn't get any closer to us. And then, this pair of humanoids now standing upright, walking.
Okay.
I'm sure
Okay.
it's nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing. Okay, so okay, your watch comes to an end, and then Oz, why don't you give me your perception check?
It's gonna go so well. Yes.
Yes, exactly. So you don't know what these people are talking about. You get the fortunate sighting. It comes early morning. You spot a little snow hare, kind of like come out of one of the little like, it seems like almost like from like the ground itself, like kind of like peek out. Notice that it's freaking cold and like scuffle like right back inside, or wherever it was, his little burrow or hideaway.
I'll just kind of mutter like, "You live here. You chose this. Probably.
It's your fault." But you notice that throughout the evening, I guess by the end of the snow has not stopped. It slowed down a little bit, but it has not stopped. And by the end of their watch, you guys have accumulated about 3.5 feet of snow, additionally to where it's at. Like it is It's quite a bit. So you notice that what doorway you have like will be like, you know, a third of the way up. You'll have to kind of like push it out or however that works. However your hut kind of looks like.
It's just a giant owlbear.
Okay, I'm not gonna allow that. It's like an owlbear like theme park thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think there's any door. I think it's just a dome, and you can leave through any.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. I like to for tiny hut because I think it's kind of fun. Just like you can give you a little bit of your flavor to it in terms of like how you kind of like it to look on the outside a bit. If you want it to be just a standard dome, that's fine. But I'd say like, you know, it's a relatively high level spell. Like, you know, I feel like with wizards, you know, there's different types of, and like they would have maybe their own personal flair to it. So if you want to have like some touch with it, yeah.
Well, you shot down the owlbear idea. So the outside of the dome is going to essentially look like just sheets of paper, just kind of plastered.
It's like post-it notes.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I'll say that seems a bit more in line. I mean, it'll definitely be noticeable. So, you know, do that with that information, what you will. So, okay. Okay, so your watch comes to an end. No screaming copper this fine morning, and you're able to kind of wake up the rest of your compatriots. As the sun's definitely not going to do it, but you feel like, okay, I think it's time that we press on here.
I'll drop the dome.
Oh, that is brutal.
Oh gosh. Well, I assume we're gonna travel through the blizzard, right?
Yep. Okay, so this one's gonna be your most critical survival check. If there's nothing else you want to do this morning,
can't wait to fail it.
I need a survival check from everyone here. See how you guys brave me out. Oh my! I bet that must feel pretty good, Oliver.
You can just call me Beyonce because I'm a survivor.
Hell yeah, let's go. Okay, man, you guys saved the best for last. Let's see if Copper follows suit here. And he does. He rolls the best roll he's done these past 3 days. You guys, so this really ultimately decides whether you guys are going to make it today or not. And really like whether you're going to be like impeded by the elements. Because he said you guys might make it to like 2.5, 3 days. And this kind of decided that. So, all right. So you guys, you notice that you're traveling northeast here, and after it doesn't take too long. Maybe after a couple hours or so. I want to make sure I'm saying this right. After an hour or so, you guys notice that while you guys are traveling like northeast for a bit, you spot like it seems like almost like a cliff, hill, like some sort of rising slope, plateau maybe. And you guys, and it seems like it's like, you know, paraplateau is like almost like a canyon type thing. And you guys are able to make that, and the snow hasn't stopped. It definitely slowed down a little bit, but it hasn't stopped, and you guys are trudging through, and you guys make it to that point. And you know, it does provide a little bit of cover if you guys kind of like hug the sides of the kind of like these long cliff sides of like this canyon here, and you're going between this path, and it's like the wind is kind of like howling behind you as you're traversing these, like, and it's relatively wide. It's maybe like 10 feet wide, up, increases to 15, sometimes narrows down to like, where only like maybe just the cart itself can barely squeak on by. So, and then you notice you come to a point where like the howling behind you and the howling above you, so it's maybe like 25, 30 feet tall as it kind of like slopes up and down the top side. You notice the snow kind of stops pelting its way through there, and it seems like it subsides. And he's just like, we're almost there. We're almost there. A copper's just like, yeah, we should be there, and hopefully by the evening here, we might have to press on to make it. Keep your eyes peeled, though. We might come across some of the locals or more locals. So as you said, I'll have everyone roll a perception check, if they want to. If they want to see if they spot anything. Okay. So, Zoran and Jimothy, you guys are traveling along, and then you notice, you kind of maybe look up every now and then, you notice that there's kind of like a point along the cliffside wall. It kind of like breaks in, and it looks like it seems like it's like a little mini cave or something like that. And you notice that someone's like behind, like they position themselves where they're like kind of like peeking out. You kind of like see a head, and it's kind of like a relatively large, like bald head. It's got like it seems like it's tattooed on the top, where it has like maybe like some dark smudge mark. You're not quite sure from the like the height you're at, but you spot that peeking out.
And it's higher than us? You said it's like at a higher ground?
Yeah, it's like higher ground.
Does it look like the path that we're taking forward, we're going to get a better view of that higher ground, or no?
No, it seems like you're going to pass. So where you see it up ahead, you see it maybe like 20 feet I know, maybe 40 feet ahead of you, and then like maybe 20 feet up. So you can kind of see that you're going to pass below that point if you keep traveling the direction you're at, which it seems like you are.
So I'll like stand up and wave my hands and point at it, and then I'm going to jump out of the cart and go try to quietly climb. Maybe not like directly in front of it. I don't know, like if I can climb up this 20-foot ledge, like maybe 40 or 50 feet away, and like try to slowly climb up and peek over and see what it is.
So sorry. So let me just make sure you're clear. So you're waving and you're like stopping the cart, and then you're having, okay.
I'm pointing it out without like being like, hey, look, like I'm trying to get everyone's attention visually, and then pointing at it, and then I'm going to climb up the cliff before we get to it. To try to see if I can quietly sneak up there and see what it is.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Uh-oh. 21.
21, okay. Let's see if you are a stealthy one, as far as you can tell. When you stop the car, it doesn't seem like to move. You kind of keep your eye on it. You approach the wall. You kind of look up to see. You can still spot it. You now kind of see like it looks like it's got some furs or something, like a little bit of fur maybe it's wearing. You're not sure. And then you start kind of climbing up. I'm gonna need you to give me maybe, I would say, I guess let's go with acrobatics. I think that might be your ability here. Get you see if you can climb this up.
I didn't mean to roll.
26.
Were you ready to go out there? Okay, 26. Okay, so Oz somehow jumps out and starts racing up behind you. No, so you start climbing up, and you spot like a relatively large humanoid.
Like how large? Like, does it look like a human but large, or does it look like someone 12 feet tall?
It looks like not 12 feet tall, but I would say like maybe 8, like 7, 8, 9, like around that area. Like, definitely like, okay, this doesn't look like just your average, like, it's not like a really tall human. Like, it's not like Wilt Chamberlain or something like that. You're like, okay, this is a different.
Taller than a Silo, who I recall is pretty tall.
Yes, Asilo, you're like 7 feet or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, taller than a Silo, you gather, and like definitely larger. Like
It's just him. Just one.
It's
creature?
just one. Yeah.
Does he look like? Or does it look like it knows we're coming by this path?
Does it look like a bitch? No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it shifts and it's kind of like looking away. But it starts kind of like he's just kind of like sitting there. It seems like. Give me another perception check, will
you? 23.
23. Okay. It seems like he's preoccupied with like it seems like he's tending to like a weapon of some kind. You hear like maybe it's like he's sharpening the blade or like just polishing it. You don't hear like a chipping or anything like or like a shink sound or anything like that. You hear like it looks like he's tending something, and you notice like the handle of something.
Do I recognize like this as like a Goliath or a giant? Or
why don't you give me I guess nature, that would be the role for this, I guess. Sure, let's go with that. Maybe history if you have that, I would say.
Yeah, that's just a 6.
Okay, you're not sure from what you gather. I mean, you would say that it could be you feel like it's not a giant, but
I do recall someone telling us that there were Goliaths out.
Yeah, so you could guess that's probably what it is. I would say you're not, because we'll say you haven't encountered one, so you're not sure that that's what this being is per se.
And do we know anything about Goliaths based on conversations we had about these feuding Goliath clans? Like, are they all inherently violent towards literally everyone, or do we know much?
They're just not fans of people named David.
Oh, Davids are the worst.
Fucking Davids. Good thing you guys don't have any Davids in the party.
But I am really small like David, and I will kill a Goliath on a drop of a hat.
Okay, so why don't you? Okay, so you rolled 6 for. Why don't you give me another roll? Why don't you give me a history check here?
5.
5. Yeah. All you know is that you're like, they told me something about some Goliath feuding, and that's really all you know. You're like, but
right,
you do understand the idea with like, well, typically things that are like having heavy weapons, they do intend to use them, I guess. So
I will pick up a rock. Can I find like a rock on the ground or something?
Yes, I'll say yes.
I'm gonna pick up a rock, a decent sized one, and I'm gonna throw it down at the cart where my friends are.
What the fuck? All right, you chuck the rock, and you like it, like
with the intention that if I want to see is like I want to make it create a sound where my friends are to get his attention, and if he gets up and looks like he's about to get aggressive with my friends, I want to start attacking him immediately.
Okay, give me a why don't you give me an athletics check to throw this thing? Are you trying to hit the cart, or are you just trying to hit it like on the ground? What are you?
I'm just trying to cause a noise. Like hitting the cart would be great if that would be noisy, or hitting a rock or whatever.
Okay.
14.
14. Okay, I'll say with that, yeah, you're able. You don't like you don't make like a loud sound with it, but you're able to like maybe like with a ricochet off the ground, you're able to like make a sound at the cart, and you notice that he shifts, and he kind of like shouts out, and who of you here speaks giant here?
Zoran does speak giant.
Okay, so you hear him shout out. Give me 1 second.
To his 40 friends that I don't see behind the hill.
Right.
He's just like, he shouts out, Zato, be aware. There we have visitor. And then you hear that. So he shouts that out. You guys all hear this. Zoran, you're the only one who understands what was being said. And then you notice that he picks up his, it looks like a great axe now that you're kind of like visualizing it. And you notice, Jimothy, from your vantage point here, that he's not looking to charge down yet. Looks like he's using his perch here. So he's gonna like shout out something.
Yeah.
He's like standing guard. He's not immediately attacking. I don't want to kill go out and go crazy.
Right, yeah. You understand, you've killed enough people and understand who's really belligerent or not, and he doesn't seem like he's a react type first yet.
How old does this individual look?
So as he rises up, it looks like he's probably in his I would say middle-aged, maybe, I guess, for a giant. I don't know how giants age.
Not old enough for Jimothy to kill.
No, yes, not
He's
geriatric.
not retirement age. Yeah,
I'm
Right,
he's
not
not
good at
very.
judging I'm not good at judging the age of Goliath. He looks old enough.
Yeah, he certainly looks old enough, but I would say according to you, Oz, he has not met the Social Security requirements yet. So.
Oh, okay. Do I
He's-
recognize?
You're saying he's too young for Jimothy's tastes?
Yep.
he likes them old. So all of you, well, I don't know. I'll say this. Probably you, Oz, out of all people, in terms of like what you've read so far, you would know what a Goliath would look like. You'd probably see a picture, so you would know that this would be a Goliath compared to a giant. I don't know about the rest of you. But have you guys had experience? I would say no, probably not. But if you,
My best friend at the academy was.
I would say maybe Zoran potentially, because she could speak giant, but I don't know why.
I'm 4 years old. I have no idea.
Yeah, I would say Asilo no. Probably Bophades no, based on like him being a bit more. You're Fae, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say maybe not. Zoran, have you seen Goliath before, or how did you acquire giant? Did you were hanging out with hill giants, or what's up?
Yeah, apparently I just had to know it when I was in the military for some reason. So.
He was like, Spanish? Fuck that. I'll learn giant.
Yeah, it's only how
language.
to say. Yeah, it's only to say like, where is the bathroom, and I would like to order fries.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Donde está la biblioteca?
Yeah, so you hit him with that. No, I'm just kidding. He speaks first. He kind of like in this booming voice, he shouts out in giant. He's just actually no. He'll shout out in common because he assumes that like, he would have assumed like anyhow. He just assumes that whoever this is isn't gonna speak Goliath. So he shouts out in common. He actually speaks common. And it's kind of poor, but it's all right. He's just like, who goes there?
We are the Southerners. We're escorting someone to meet his friend. Or trying to locate his friend.
Where do you seek?
Look over at Copper. It's like, where are we going?
You notice that he's like hiding behind like whatever like bags or he's just like, oh, oh, oh. And he's just like,
Fucking helpful.
you like, are you like looking at him? He's like, tell him, the black cabin on the stilts. Tell him the black cabin on the stilts.
We're going to the black cabin on the stilts.
And he doesn't know that you speak Giant Zoran, so he'll shout out to his buddy named Zato, apparently. He says like, Zato, they're going to the black cabin or something like that. And then you hear a voice respond back. And he's just like, so the voice responds back, and you kind of hear this. All of you hear this other like booming voice, from a distance. It's just like, they tell them they should not go there. Tell them they should turn back. And so you hear the Zoran, and the Goliath, the one you don't know, unnamed yet, he's kind of speaks to you. He's just like, no, go there, in comment. Go 10 towns. Go to 10 towns. Zoran, if you want to speak in Goliath, if you'd like, or in Giant, sorry, but or Asilo. I think you froze there.
I think Zoran froze. It's like, we came from 10 towns. We need to check on the well-being of his friend.
Okay.
Can you hear me
So-
now?
Yes, I
Yes.
can hear you now.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to let them know that I can speak Giant.
Okay.
But does it sound like they're worried or something, or is it just more of a they just said that they don't want us to go there?
Since you out of all people would have this, give me an insight check. Sure.
Are they just sounding territorial?
Yeah, there's a difference. I mean, if he just completely wiped out everyone, that's totally different, you know? They're scared. I don't know.
Okay.
I rolled
So-
an 18.
18. It
Okay.
seems like he is almost like warning you, like maybe you shouldn't go there. Like, So then, the Goliath shouts back to you as you kind of did you want to respond to that or anything, or you just kind of like you kind of just wanted to roll that check?
Yeah, I just wanted to roll that check. I'm gonna let Asilo respond
Okay.
like he was going to.
Okay. So I go ahead there again. Say that one more time. That you just needed to get there. 'Cause
Yeah,
you came from.
Yeah, we came from 10 towns. We need to check on the well-being of one of its inhabitants.
And then he shouts out, and it seemed like he's trying to ask you a question. No other business?
This is our highest priority at this time.
You have weapons.
And we will keep our weapons.
So you have weapons. He's asking us like a question.
Yes.
Show weapons when crossing. He kind of wants you to have them out, I guess. Like.
So I'll sling my warhammer over my shoulder, riding my moose, and continue forward.
Okay.
It's another Wednesday.
So you keep riding forward, and then the Goliath says, "Wait, stop!" Like in this booming voice, right? Like it's kind of loud. He's just like, "You must pay to get in."
How much is the toll?
I toss him a pack of rations and keep riding.
He's just like, "This good for you. What about others?"
Food, the universal language.
So they're
Yeah, but
expecting
that-
each of you to pay something. Doesn't have to be gold per se, but You're paying a toll to get through.
Storm will throw 2 rations, so 1 for me and 1 for Copper.
He's like, not enough. Need more rations.
More food.
I'll pass a 2 additional, so 4 total is what I've given him so far.
He glares at you as you're kind of tossing this up, right? Like he's still up there. He hasn't like come down or anything like that. So you're kind of like setting it.
How high up is he?
He's about like maybe 15, 20 feet up.
I'm gonna mage hand a single gold coin up to him.
Okay, so remember, like you're still like, so if you're like up here and like this is like 20 feet down, you're still like 40, 50 feet away. Like if you're invoking Pythagoras here, you're still a little bit horizontally away. So you're gonna have to like get to that point.
That's not a historical figure of this universe, I don't think. So I can't invoke him.
Okay, invoke whoever developed the notion of Pythagoras with Pythagorean theorem anyway.
All right, well, I'll get the mage hand as close as I can and go, I need to be closer.
Okay, so then he
throw it.
Is going to say, throw up here.
What?
Or throw bottom of cliff.
Oh, so you can just set the coin down over there at the bottom of the cliff? All right.
Yeah. But then he looks, when you notice it's just one coin, he kind of like peeks and he's like, not enough. Need more.
It's a gold coin.
And you notice like, maybe like the way, like maybe to him, like that's not much of a value, while like food and like more material things seems to be more value to them. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this that I forgot that I had.
Perfect.
Look at this. And I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. So my charisma modifier is +3. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Jimothy and Oz and Copper, because everyone else can understand, right? Asilo and Zorn already understand.
I don't understand Giant. I just.
Then you do now. All right, you're in. Copper's the only one who ain't gonna know what the fuck's going on.
Fair enough. Probably doesn't need to know.
All right, so I'll go ahead and give that to the 3 of them, but I will say to the Giant, I'll say, hey, you know what? This is what we have now, but I will gladly give you more when we pass back through.
Let me murder your friends and take it.
He shouts out to the other giant. That's giant. So the other Goliath who you haven't seen yet, kind of like a ways away. And they're just like, he's just like, and I guess you now understand. You shout in giant, right? Or like, oh no, he just understands. How does this work? You gain the ability to make your speech intelligible to any creature. So it seems like he just understands. Does he know that you're doing something different, or does he just like somehow think that you're speaking giant? It's kind of an interesting.
That I don't know. It just says the creatures can magically understand you. To me, I imagined it as the universal translator in Star Trek. So I don't think they notice anything.
It's a Babel fish.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. No, I think that's cool. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. So yeah, let's say that he just understands. He's thinking, he's perceiving that you're speaking giant, and that kind of strikes him as off guard, because none of you has let on that you understand giant. He's been trying to use his broken common-ish, and he switches to giant to speak back to you.
Okay.
And so he's just like, oh, the strife. He like goes full eloquent, like it's not even.
I say it just says that creatures can understand Bophades, not necessarily that we can understand other creatures.
Oh, what annoying! Why can't it be both ways? What is the spell that does that? This is dumb.
Oh.
I think
They can
tongue
understand
is-
you, but that's not the other way around.
Yeah.
Sorry,
What is
bro.
this? Okay. What is it? So that's hilarious. You have to do like comprehend languages and then this in order for things to work. Is there one that does both? Like the combined is.
I think tongues lets you speak and understand.
Will you ever pick that up, Oliver? That's my question. Like, does that something come with you as your whatever special subclass as the
I don't
bard
know,
here?
but I will
college.
also cast comprehend languages on myself so I can understand him.
Okay. Let's say like that's gonna be the workaround for this. Because like, but yeah, it seems like it is tongues. Okay, and it's 3rd level. That would be a fun one to pick up because like, not that I don't want to just give it to you, but like there are particular reasons to have things. So,
Yeah, no, well, I still haven't picked up a 3rd level spell really from my upgrade. So I mean, it would be something that it would flow with what my character would do. So
right. But I'll just say this because you have comprehend languages and this, like, if you want to pick up tongues just to have like a little bit more length or flexibility with it or whatever. But
yeah.
anyhow, okay, so you have a pinch of soot and salt. You pull that out real quick, and you're like, and
sorry, my giant's a little rusty.
and so anyhow, so he okay, why don't you give me a persuasion here to see whether he likes what you're offering.
A 27.
Oh, god damn. Well, fate has came to play. Okay, so with a 27, he responds, just because you're speaking a giant, he's just like, all right, I like this idea. You are interesting one, Harry Foot.
Harry Foot.
Would this deal extend to your friends? Or just you?
Well, of course, I speak for my group when I talk of what we're doing here.
Unless he says something dumb.
All right. He's just like, okay. So he, as a 27, he kind of backs down and he lowers. You notice that he was like holding both hands his great axe, and he kind of like lets go with one hand and kind of almost like stands sentinel a little bit. And he's just like, we will let you pass. Note that we cannot guarantee you safety from other clans.
What's your name?
Me?
Thor.
He said Thor.
It's Stacy.
I am Stacy the Goliath. I need to turn the light in here. Okay. I am Fagog.
Fagog.
Yes, Fagog.
Well, excellent. What are you and your clan looking for? I noticed that the rations seem to be the thing.
Food always good. Oh no, he knows sorry, he's speaking John. He's like, yeah, food is welcomed, but I would like to have. We're looking for magical rock, and he's like, it is Chardolin, and you're knowing he's trying to say Chardolin.
Oh.
He's like, that is very valuable. We
Okay.
want that.
Well, I'll see if I can find some shards somewhere.
No shards. I've got shart right here for you, bud.
And what clan do you hail from?
That was going to be my next question, so thank you.
He's just like, we are all the Reghead tribes. I am from Clan Terrific.
Clan Terrific of the Raghead Tribe. Got it.
No, all wrong. Kill the one who somehow understands. No, I'm just kidding.
Now,
Okay.
can you pop that in the
Yeah. So his name's Fagog. Close, you almost got it there.
Oh, that's good because I started thinking Farquaad. Some of you will have to die.
There's a sacrifice that I can live with.
So yeah, tar, and it's like, sometimes it's like the like the eyes like that, or sometimes they shorten it to Tarfic or Tarific, like. So, and it's like a sub clan, so at least that's where he's claiming that he's from.
Okay.
And what are the other clans in the region that we should be concerned about?
Was also my next question.
And he kind of looks at you. He's just like, not sure. Don't bother asking.
Bro.
And so he's just like, and actually, if you want to roll an insight check, you can. Wait, clan chart. I just saw the comment. God damn it. So it seems like he's not sure. All the other clan names. It seems like he doesn't really interact. Or he just doesn't know. Maybe he's just not educated on the other ones. Wait, clan not sure. Got it. We'll keep an eye on the not sure clan. So he's just like, all right, go through. He says, Black Cabin, not safe. Remember this. And so yeah.
Does your friend in the hills know which clans we should be wary of?
He's just like, and he shouts out, he's like, Zato, do you know any other clans? And then he responds with that you're asking like about if whether like which ones that are going to be like not safe or whatever, or just like any other clan names.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming because we're aware that the clans are in disagreement. I don't know if we heard from the speaker previously, like which clans they used to get along with, or which clans have been problematic. Possibly being able to know, okay, is clan Tarfik full of shit, or are they one of the ones that we've had previous alliances with, and we need to work with them to, resolve issues with the other clans?
Yeah, that was kind of what I was trying to think. Was this is the kind of groundwork, right? The start for which clans are what?
Okay, so he responds with so he asks Zato just to kind of move things along. And he responds with, Crondle, you watch out for Crondle. You hear kind of a voice from a distance. And he says, I don't know other clans, but Crondle's bad. I don't know why he keeps speaking like. I don't know why I'm making it sound like idiots. They can actually speak.
Okay. So they're saying this in Giant, right? Now that
they're saying the Giant.
I'm talking to
give
them
me
here.
one
All
second.
Right, yeah.
Let me turn on the light here. Okay, so so he's just like, you're close to Black Cabin. You should be there in a couple more hours.
Excellent. And whose clan was this? Crondle's? clan? Who's he rolling with?
Crondle name of clan. Don't know name of chieftain.
Aha. Okay. All
And
right.
why are you having a disagreement with Clan Crondle?
He's like, I don't know. Ask chieftain.
Well, can the chieftain come explain to me at this moment?
No. And he kind of, they both start laughing. They're like, you think chieftain would be here doing guard duty? You're funny, rock man.
All right. Well, we will be back. We'll be on the lookout for the Crondle clan potentially.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us know the black cabin is down the way.
Yeah. And then before he he's like, remember, you come back through here, you bring something good. And then he grabs a rock near him and he like pulverizes it with his hand. He's like, or this will be your head.
Oh, fear boner.
Jimothy will pick up a small rock and he's gonna like walk up from behind the guy and to get back down to his friends. I mean, like he's gonna stop next to the Goliath and squeeze the rock.
Well, I was gonna say I'd pick up a rock and attempt to do the same.
He turns around. He's like, "Oh, fuck a kid," and punts you. He's like, "No."
Just so you know, you had death waiting behind you the whole time.
Yeah. I just realized turning on the light and here made it much worse. I look like I'm in the void.
Yeah, you look like you went black and white.
You're very backlit right now.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, that's not gonna help.
Key lighting.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not in the spot here, so I'll need to.
Figured that was the vibe you were going for the Goliaths.
Yeah, and so just to be clear, yeah, so I didn't even paint a full description of them. So yeah, so he looks like he's covered in all these furs of different animals. He looks like, yeah, I mean, about maybe 8 feet tall, incredibly well built. It seems like he's got like, his arms are pretty huge. He's got like a solid, like, he's not like abs or anything like that. He's just got like he's just like a trunk, it seems like. He's just solidly built. He's got a bald head that kind of like is a little bit, it's like a pineapple shaped. You can't tell if he has facial hair. It seems like he's got like a kind of like a cover to like cover his mouth or something like that. It's almost like a bandana he's got covered or something. I think that maybe just to protect his nose and face from the elements. Yeah, and then he's got this giant great axe. But yeah, so he turns around and sees you, Jimothy. And he's just like, whoa. He's just like, you be careful. You scare me like that, and I kill you on the spot.
Jimothy will squeeze the rock harder as he scurries down the cliffside back to his friends.
Okay.
So I would still like to try and crush a rock back at him.
Give me an athletics check to crush this rock that you pick up. It's gonna be kind of tough because it's a rock.
Oh fuck!
Wow! What is wrong with you people? What did the rocks do to you?
I got a pointy rock.
Yeah, so you got a pointy rock. You will take a point of damage. Please mark one as such. That you like grab like maybe a sharpish rock and it like jabs into you. You're like, oh fuck, and it hurts. So you take a point of damage, and I normally have like access to the clock, but I have not been looking at the clock.
What am I concentrating on?
I didn't realize. This might went by fast. This session. I guess we started a little bit later. Starts with that. Damn, I was really hoping you guys would we would start doing this today. Okay, so
I was hoping I could kill you at the cabin already.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we'll make the cabin. You'll explore this first half of the cabin, or maybe first quarter, and then we'll pick it up next time. And doing the cabin looks like we're the next episode might be the full cabin. Yeah, okay. Cool. I like that. Maybe I revealed a little bit too much. We'll see. So okay. So you okay, Jimmy, I don't know how long he'll hold those. This threateningly holding the rock, but he's gonna kind of stare at you.
I mean, I've sufficiently embarrassed myself because I apparently picked up a rock that was too big. I picked up a rock but couldn't crush it.
Well, you are what, like 5? So not quite there yet.
Right.
I need to take up some like geology so I can determine which rocks are easier to crush than other rocks.
You got to find brittle rocks.
Need some limestone, not some obsidian.
Yeah. So okay. So he laughs. He's like, you rock man are funny. I like you. All right, get out of here. Go on through. And okay. So you guys make it through this point, and he kind of opens back up, and you notice that on this side of the kind of like, I guess, the fault canyon here, it seems to be a little bit more like geography, a little bit more like there seems to be a bit more rocks. You spot a couple of like evergreens appearing. Like it seems like there seems to be a bit more life on this side of the rock, which kind of makes it maybe why they're a little bit on this side here. It's still like not like lush green. Oh man, I am completely in the dark image here. So you guys come across, and why don't you all give me a perception check? Let's see here, what do we got? 18, 24, 7, 6. Wow, okay, there we go.
Change my dice.
I was too busy patting myself on the back.
All right, so okay, so I will carry that through. A 24. So Oz, as you're coming out, you do spot another Goliath, hiding behind another, I guess, kind of like hideaway or something like that.
I'll wave at him.
Yeah, it looks like what?
I'll wave at him.
Okay, you wave at him.
Yep.
He noticed that you spot him, and then he kind of stands up. And similar thing. It looks like he's got like almost like a hood over his head, and you notice that he's got a beard. He looks much younger. Based on kind of like the facial features that he has, than the other Goliath that you spoke with. But anyhow, you guys make your way through, and you guys travel a little bit more. You notice that you eventually find like a path, and you start traveling through, and you kind of come across a little bit more, almost like paralleled by like a couple of like evergreens, and it seems like you're approaching maybe like a more like wooded area as you're kind of like sloping up, and it seems like maybe you're like about to climb up like a plateau or a cliff, because you're gaining a lot of elevation here, and eventually from a distance, you notice that it seems like there's like a sudden like drop off, as you notice that you actually did end up climbing like almost like a cliffside here, and you spot, I'll read the little description here, and then we'll kind of call it there for the evening. I would say that's probably a good stopping point. So perched on the edge of a snowy ridge above, it seems like a gorge, is a black lodge standing on wooden stilts. And so icy steps climb to a snow-covered walkway that clings to the south side of the structure. The building's slumped posture and sagging snow-covered roof, coupled with broken windows and loose, flapping shutters, suggest utter abandonment. Large snowdrifts huddle around the rotting stilts and engulf a nearby woodshed and outhouse. Only the wind visits this place. So yeah, it seems like you've successfully made it to this black cabin, and we will figure out what entails and what is going on inside next session here, as we'll kind of stop there for the evening.
The outhouse is the utmost priority.
All right. Dang, sorry about the little delay there, folks. We probably would have gotten a little bit farther
just fine
today, but we will pick it up there next Monday with the full black cabin and what's going on in there. So thanks for playing, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you.
Alrighty, so I guess we'll see everybody next week.
See everybody next week. You guys have a good evening.
See you guys.
Later.
See you.
Bye.